Number 1. The Bourne Supremacy 2004. Jason Bourne, Matt Damon, is living in India when he is framed by Russian agent Kirill Korolev for the theft of millions from the CIA. Kirill begins to pursue Bourne, intending to assassinate him. But while Bourne and his girlfriend Mary Franca Potenti are on the run from him, kill her instead. Vowing revenge, Bourne sets out to prove his innocence and bring the culprits to justice. But he has to avoid CIA head Pamela Landry Jonelin, who is convinced he is guilty. After escaping from the emotional and physical pain he previously encountered, Jason Bourne and his girlfriend Mary begin a new life as far away as possible. But when an assassination attempt on Bourne goes horribly wrong, Bourne must re-enter the life he wanted to leave behind in order to find out the truth, why they are still after him. Number 2. Transported to 2002. The story of Frank Martin's Jason Statham journey from being the aggressor to the savior captures the heart and mind of the audience beautifully. The action-packed sections are all lively and bring color to overall plot. That's interesting but cute blend. When you see the bulky Frank pushing down the alien, you can try pleasure by watching the protagonists inflict pain slowly and steadily to ward off the evil plan which the kidnapper mustered. Ex-special forces operate Frank Martin lived what seemed to be a cute life along the French Mediterranean, hiring himself out as a mercenary transporter who moves goods, human or otherwise, from one place to another. No question asked, carrying out mysterious and sometimes dangerous tasks in his tricked out BMW. Frank adheres to the strict set of rules which he never breaks. Rule 1. Never change the deal. Rule 2. No names. Frank doesn't want to seem no different from the contract once he's done in the past. He's been hired by an American known only as Wall Street to make a delivery. But when Frank stops along the route, he needs. Number 3. Rambo First Blood 1982. The character of John Rambo, a traumatized and war-scarred soul, has been shown as a former US soldier who has to get back to his violent side when a conflict in a small village takes place. The movie is basically Stalin flexing his muscles against oppression and tyranny. Classic Rambo movie. This one too deals with corrupt people at the hem and how they can be fought with bare hand and bone. J. Rambo is a former United States Special Forces soldier who fought in Vietnam and won the Congressional Medal of Honor, but his time in Vietnam still haunts him. As he came to Washington to visit a friend, he was guided out of town by the Sheriff William Cecil, who insults Rambo. But what Cecil doesn't know that his insult angered Rambo to the point where Rambo became violent and was arrested. As he was at the county jail being cleaned, he escapes and goes on a rampage through the forest to try to escape from the sheriffs who want to kill him. Then, as Rambo's commanding officer Truman tries to save both the sheriff's department and Rambo before the situation gets out of hand. Number 4. Mad Max Fury Road 2015. A post-apocalyptic action movie. Mad Max Fury Road is an adventure action whirlwind portrays a different and survivor joining hands with the rival to destroy the mafia controlling the water supply in a desert area. The movie is a total adrenaline rush with insane vehicles, desert storms, and a home Dutachrome. Those who love action will get it all the way. An apocalyptic story set in the farthest reach of our planet, in a stark desert landscape where humanity is broken and almost everyone is grazed, fighting for the necessities of life. Within this world exist two rebels on the run who just might be able to restore order. There's Max, a man of action and a man of few words, who seeks peace of mind following the law of his wife, and joined in the aftermath of the chaos, and Furiosa, a woman of action and a woman who believes her path to survival may be achieved if she can make it across the desert back to her childhood homeland. Number 5. Terminator 2 1991. A masterpiece for the 90s kids. This movie was one of a kind, giving the world a scary and advanced version of already beef and booked of Arnold. This was also the best example of rare recall, which is better than the original. Gives melting thumbs up. Over 10 years have passed since the first robot, called the Terminator, tried to kill Sarah Connor and her urban son John. The man who will become the future leader of the human resistance against the machines is now a healthy young boy. However, another Terminator called the 3000 is sent back through time by a supercomputer, Skynet. This new Terminator is more advanced and more powerful than its predecessor, and its mission is to kill John Connor, who when he's still a child. However, Sarah and John do not have to face the threat of the T-1000 alone. Another Terminator, identical to the same model that tried and failed to kill Sarah Connor in 1984, is also sent back through time. The battle for tomorrow has begun. Number 6. Baby Driver 2007. This movie released in 2017 and starts with a story of a musically driven getaway driver who can break all limits to seek freedom in his life and run away with his lover. The automobile mayhem takes place when an armed dealer turns out to be an undercover agent and all hell breaks loose. Baby as a young and partially herring impaired getaway driver who can make any wild move while in motion with a right track playing. It's a critical talent. He needs to survive his intended servitude to the crime boss, Dog right track playing. Dog who values his rules in his meticulously planned robberies. However, just when Baby thinks he is finally free and clear to have his own life with his new girlfriend Bora, Dog curses him back for another job, now settled with a crew of dogs too violently unstable to keep a dog's plans. Baby finds himself and everything he cares for in terrible danger. To survive and escape coming storm, it will take all of Baby's skill, wits and daring, but even on the best track can he make it when life is forcing him to face the music. Number 7. Kingsman 2014. An action spy comedy. The movie is directed brilliantly and lives up to expectations, well, becoming one of the few movies of the genre to do well in the box office. Journey of Gary Ruin after being selected on a spy mission serves the audience well and nobody comes out bored or questioning logic toward the end, and that church fight scene is stunning. A young man named Gary is dealing with a grief friend. He gets arrested and he calls the number a man gave him around the time his father tried to call if he needs help. A man named Harry Hart approaches him and tells him he's the one who helped him. He tells him that he knew his father. When the man slighted some payback, Harry takes care of him and his companions single-handed. Harry then tells Axie that he's part of a secret organization called the Kingsman, and his father was also part of it. He tried trying to make the world safe. Harry offers Axie the opportunity to be a Kingsman, and he takes it. He undergoes a grueling training course. Harry is looking into the demise of another Kingman, and the trail leads him to see billionaire Valentine. Number 8. The Matrix 1999, one of the most astonishing and path-breaking movies of the late 90s. The Matrix is a movie which made many records on both international and national level. The movie was a rage among the Indians who inclined towards science fiction and movies related to path-breaking events, starring Keanu Reeves. The combination of action and science go well hand in hand. Thomas A. Anderson is a man living two lives. By day he is an avid computer program, and by night a hacker known as Neo. Neo has always questioned his reality but the truth is far beyond his imagination. Neo finds himself targeted by the police when he is contacted by Murphy, a legendary computer hacker branded a terrorist by government. Murphy awakens Neo to the real world, or vast wasteland where most of humanity have been captured by a race of machines that live off human body heat and electrochemical energy, and who imprison their minds with an artificial reality known as the Matrix. As a rebel against the machines, Neo must return to the Matrix and confront the agents. Super powerful computer program devoted to snuffing out Neo and the entire human rebellion. Number 9, John Wick 2014. What happens when you break a broken assassin? Some more, you get ripped apart. That's what happens when a retired assassin, Keanu Reeves, is forced to return to his old ways when someone kills the puppy, which served as the lost memory of his dead wife. Action-packed sequence and deadly moves followed. Some never touched John Wick's dog ever. With the untimely death of his beloved wife still bitter in his mouth, John Wick, the expert former assassin, receives one final gift from her, a precious keepsake to help John find a new meaning in life. Now that she is gone, but when the arrogant Russian mob prince Lucifer Tarasov and his Mendevic are unwelcome visitors to rob him of his pride 1969 Mustang and his wife's presence, the legendary Hitman will be forced to unearth his ridiculously cancelled identity. Blind with revenge, John will immediately unleash a carefully orchestrated maelstrom of destruction against the sophisticated kingpin Vigo Tarasov and his family, who are fully aware of his lethal capacity. Now only blood can quench the boogeyman's thirst for retribution. Number 10, Taken 2008. How far can a father go to protect his own daughter from a big prosecution rat and think he never saw coming? Kidnapped on a holiday, the man must find his girl before it gets too late. But there's a plot twist. The man can literally kill them all. That's what he does. As the case begins, his evil mind and mentoring girl outside the United States of America. The sequences that follow are surprising and full of action, starring Liam Neeson. 17-year-old Kim is the pride of joy of her father, Brian Mills. Brian is a retired agent who left the Central Intelligence Agency to be near Kim in California. Kim lives with her mother Lenore and her wealthy stepfather shorturl. Kim managed to convince her reluctant father to allow her to travel to Paris with her friend Amanda. When the girl arrives in Paris, they share a cave with a stranger named Peter, and Amanda lets it slip that they are alone in Paris. Using this information, an Albanian gang of human traffickers kidnappers kidnap the girl. Kim barely has time to call her father and give him information. Her father gets to speak briefly to one of the kidnappers and he promises to kill the kidnapper if they do not let his daughter go free. The kidnapper wishes him good luck, so family travel to Paris to search for his daughter and her friend. Number 11. Atomic Blondie 2017. Based on the graphic novel The Coldest City, Atomic Blondie is an action thriller that was released in 2017. Not often do you see a badass female protagonist given charge of a M16 mission, which involves going to Berlin before the fall of the wall, stealing a list and coming back to the agency. So the work divides was simple. Not everything falls as per the plan. The crown jewel of Her Majesty Secret Intelligence Service Agent Lauren Proton is equal parts Pycroft, parts Spycroft, sensuality and surgery, willing to deploy any of her skill to stay alive on her impossible mission, sent alone into Berlin to deliver a priceless desire out of destabilized city. She partners with embedded station chief David Percival to navigate her way through the deadly game of space. Number 12. Predator 1987, an American science fiction and action horror film. This movie was a cult classic back in the 90s, depicting guerrilla warfare as well as outer space. See what happens when the Earth's deadliest hunters upgrade to something more evil with the help of fragments and DNA from outer space. The pace of the film is gripping and keeps the audience on its toes. Log plus street-locked alliance, a team of special force ops led by a tall but fierce soldier, Major Dutch, are ordered to assist CIA man Colonel Dillon on a rescue mission for potential survivors of a helicopter downed over remote South American jungle. Not long after they land, Dutch and his team discover that they have been sent in under false pretenses. This deception turns out to be the least of their worries when they find themselves being metaphorically hunted by something not of this world. Number 13. Black Hawk Down 2001, another war film by the great director Ridley Scott. Black Hawk Down is the story of 100 old US Rangers who are trapped into the middle of Mogadishu, two Somalian warlords there can go terribly wrong as two birds Black Hawk are shot down by the Somalians treating a red balloon scenario. Third direction of each war sequence and the cinematography is surreal and is sure to give you thrill. Action war drama based on the best-selling book detailing a near disastrous mission in Somalia on October 3, 1993. On this date, nearly 100 U.S. Army Rangers commanded by Capt. Mike Steele were trapped by helicopter deep into the capital city of Mogadishu to capture two top lieutenants of Somali warlords. This led to a large and drawn-out firefight between the Army Rangers, U.S. SEAL forces, and hundreds of Somali gunmen, resulting in the destruction of two U.S. Black Hawk helicopters. The film focuses on the heroic efforts of various rangers to get to the town Black Hawk, centering on SSG Westman leading the ranger until Chalk 4 to the first Black Hawk crash site. Chief Warrant Officer Terran, who was captured after being the only survivor of the second Black Hawk crash, as well as many others who were involved. Number 14, Armor of God. The 1986 is an action-adventure film that takes audiences from a cult of monks to mysterious creatures all the way back to the monk while chasing them after the snapping of the protagonist's girlfriend. Asian Hawk, an ex-singer and treasure hunter, has to do the job of bringing back his girl and winning over treasure, which can give him lifetime full of fame and luxury. The movie calls a young Deacon. Deacon plays an ex-singer turned fortune hunter whose ex-girlfriend is kidnapped by an evil cult. Her friend, an old friend of Jessie, turns to him for help as kidnapper intended. Lots of Deacon, collection and lore. Number 15, Speed, 1994. This American action thriller film directed by Jandy Bond stars Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock and revolves around a bus that's full of if it slowed down. This is one of those films that consume the audience completely, mainly because you are always on extortionist bumper, elevator plan backfire, so her rigs are bomb to a Los Angeles city bus. The stipulation is one on the bus must stay above 50 miles per hour to keep from exploding. Also, if any passenger try to get off the bumper will detonate the bomb.